And that I stepped off the stage and took a piece of her heart. We knew from the start that things fall apart. It tends to shatter. She like, that's no matter when I get home. Get at her through letter phone. Whatever, let's link, let's get together. You think not? Think the thought went home and forgot. Time passed, we back in Philly. Now she up in my spot. Telling me the things I'm telling her is making her hot. Started building with her constantly round the clock. Now she in my world like hip hop and keep telling me, yeah.
You were worried about when I didn't know who I saw. What club I went to with my homies, baby, don't worry, you know that you got me. You were worried about when I didn't know who I saw. What club I went to with my homies, baby, don't worry, you know that you got me.
Yo, I'm the type that's always catching a flight. And sometimes I got to be out at the height of the night. And that's when she flip and get on some more.
This is Blackwood Fan Radio Media. Hamzamo family, welcome to the Africa Today show on the Blackwood Fan Network. I hope that everyone is doing well on the 19th of July the year 2021. I hope that you also did have a fantastic weekend. Mine was really just a lot of indoors, not really eventful, but nonetheless, I'm looking forward to a wonderful week, and I hope that you all too. I do see Kingston all the way from Pittsburgh, and also the wonderful sister Nishpenda And I want to thank you so much for being part of the Black Fire Network, and also for keeping supporting us in different ways, either by sharing our content or either by also supporting the network monetarily. I want to appreciate you so much. I want to remind us that you can actually visit our website, which is www.black.farnetwork.com. And once you are on the website, I want to ask all of us to also really create a profile on the network website. And once you do so, you will also be able to interact with the rest of the family on the network website. Kid has been working on getting the network updated, so very soon we shall be able to stream on that particular network and also have a live stream chat, just like we do right here on YouTube and also on other different platforms. So therefore, please head over to the network website and sign up so that when the network is done, you will be able to also get notifications also on your email, and you can find out what's going on, what particular shows they are, what guests they are, and other matters as such as that. And you can also download the app, which is also being worked on right now. The app, it's available on our Play Store, which is a Black Fire Network on Play Store. You can also have that particular one very soon, also on Apple Store. So you can find it on those particular two stores, and you can be able to download it. And Kingston, I use an peace to you too. We are hoping that once the website has been done again, we can be able also to go back to the Saturday movie night on the website, and also we can also be able to do the Friday basement on the network website. So those two particular shows will be coming up real soon once the website has been upgraded, because there has to be a few final touches on the website, and I believe it's all for the good, because there has been a lot of censorship. For example, I was checking out kids YouTube. He was trying to play some videos on YouTube, but he was getting kicked out of YouTube. I don't know. I think it was done purposefully, and it has been it's a censorship going on right now. So you cannot just stand there and be reactive. I do believe we have to be proactive, and that is why Kid has put in some work in terms of going to build up an independent platform where we can also be able to just speak freely without being shut down. Because right now, for example, on YouTube, if you want to share some content on YouTube right now, for example, go on some materials have been put up on a BitTuit. If you were told you want to bring up the materials on a BitTuit and put them right here on YouTube, I promise you this particular stream will not last for the whole damn time. So if you want to check us out on the official website, please make sure to do so, because most of the shows will actually be happening right there on the website. And we are hoping that eventually we can just get to ditch these other platforms and perhaps be on the website, because there will be a little bit of free space right there, and we can be able to share all these content are coming up as we keep on going on, and the information is factual. And also, I would like to remind us that of course we do have an active WhatsApp group. In case you haven't joined our WhatsApp group, it's very important for you to do so. You can, let me see if I can share the link real quick before we even get to proceed, because it's also important that you also able to join us on WhatsApp, because these channels keep on getting striked. So if you want to know where you're streaming live from, most of it goes to WhatsApp, and you are able to find out where are we actually streaming our live from. Let me share with us the link of the WhatsApp group real quick, and you can also be able to also get that as well. I don't know how many of us also are on Instagram. I'm not sure. Instagram seems like not everyone really likes Instagram, but nonetheless, sometimes you might also be doing some streams right there on Instagram. It's owned by Facebook. WhatsApp is also owned by Facebook. Right now, it's like we are in a Facebook jail, but still we persist. We will continue doing for as long as we are able to continue doing the work with the Black Fire Network, regardless of whether there are these challenges with the shutting down of the platforms, or the temporary temporary strikes as well. We shall still continue doing it. Let me share these with us so that you can click on the WhatsApp and join us on the chat. Try and have the link here. Okay, I think I found it. Also, if you like to get a hold of a kid on perhaps on email, you can also be able to do so. Just write to kcnewsam15 at gmail.com, or you can also write to blackwoodfireafrica at gmail.com. The same will actually will be received, and also on our Facebook, it's Black Fire Network Radio Station, and it's also a responsive platform. We will be able to get those particular messages, whether it's a query, a comment, or suggestion. We shall also be getting that one pretty well using either the email or all these other social media platforms. If you want to join us on our WhatsApp group, I have shared the link with us. I hope that you will just be able to click on that, and once you do, you can be able really to join us on our WhatsApp group. And for the WhatsApp group, it's really interesting because it's just mostly real time. Someone might just wake up and decide that they have gotten this particular kind of an inspiration, and they want to share it real quick with everyone, and everyone is able to get it real quick. But nonetheless, I just wanted to share with us some real quick facts that in this age of social media that we are living in, I've had stories of people getting their identity stolen on the internet. Someone might even come up and say they have their device, they have your device, or they have actually hacked into your device, and they might come up with a false claim of or maybe trying to operate your bank account, or maybe trying to operate your other accounts such as a social media. They might pop up and put a post on your Instagram, or put another post on your WhatsApp, or put another post on your Facebook. But what I do believe right now, people also should be very careful about what platforms that you are actually using, because at the end of the day, you might become a victim of the identity theft on the internet. And for example, if it has to do with the money, or if it has to do with your bank account, then you really need to know what can you do. Immediately you realize that someone is either asking money on your behalf, or is either asking money in the pretext of being you, or after having stolen your identity, they are asking for money from your other relatives, or they're asking for money from maybe your workplace, or maybe from your colleagues, with the pretext that they are you. For example, someone might hack into your Facebook, someone might hack into your Instagram, someone might hack into your even your other personal accounts. And there has been so many ways that I have had people talking about they are not able really even to report this particular kind of a situation, because maybe their emails has been hacked, and their password is gone, and right now someone they have changed the phone number, because of course you do have the backup, and you're only able to verify your Gmail or your email really using your phone details. You are able to synchronize both of them, your email and also your phone. But there are situations where someone might come in and take over your phone, and also change the numbers with your emails. And it's very important that if you happen to be a victim of a situation like this, you might say, oh, these are the Koreans, or these are the Russians, or these are the Nigerians, or these whomever trying to hack into my platforms. But it doesn't matter who has hacked into your platform. But this has become very much common when it comes to the new digital media age, or new social media age. You will find people trying to hack into your accounts, because it's a kind of a work, or the line of career that they want to get into, becoming just social online crooks. But I do believe one of the most important things that you need to do when you realize that perhaps your accounts have been taken over, or perhaps you have been hacked, or perhaps you have become a victim of an online identity theft online, and someone is pretending to be you, either be it because they do have your cards, or because they do have some information about your cards, or they do have some information about your digital platforms. One of the best things you would know, if at all you have been notified, the best thing you need to do is also notify your creditors, or also notify your banks, because that is a very fast target that they are actually hitting. I have heard about these situations happen, and I have heard about these particular cases are going around, where people say, I do not know what just happened. I cannot be able to access into my email, access into my accounts, access into my social media. This is what is happening. But I do believe once you realize, the minute that you realize that someone has done it and has taken over your accounts, you need to also notify your banks, or also notify your creditors, and so that they can be aware that you are not the person responsible of this communication. There might be a communication to your bank, or there might be an attempt to try and draw funds from your account. But it's very, very important that once you realize that there has been an identity theft, either on your emails or either on your other platforms, maybe your phone, your social media, you need to notify your bank, and you also need to be very, very careful. You also need to put a fraud alert on your credit card. The fraud can negatively impact on your credit score, leaving a long-lasting effects, which means protecting your credits from further damage should be on high on the list of priorities. Contact any of the 3 credit reporting agency or request a fraud alert. That is one of the things that you should be able to do very, very quick. And also, you can also check on your credit reports, because after setting up a fraud alert on your credit profile, you'll automatically receive access to 1 free credit report from each of the 3 agencies. In Africa, I do believe this might be the next frontier. In Africa, we have also had the same, but in Africa is really on the petty level. Let's call it on the quote-unquote petty level, because you realize someone just hacked into your Instagram, hacked into your Facebook, hacked into your social media accounts, and they have turned around the names, and now they're using a different pseudonyms. And then they might also try, or they might even retain your name, but you are not able to access it, and they might try get some money from someone. Maybe they're saying, okay, I'm in a situation which is difficult. Please do send me some money, and it's an emergency. And therefore, someone might be thinking it's you, but it is your identity that has been stolen on the internet, and they are able to camouflage under your name. So I do believe it's important that you also freeze your credits. A credit freeze is a good thing if you do if you know you are a victim, as you will completely lock down your credit information, which is also very, very much important. And you can also report the identity theft to the FTC. In the United States, you can report your identity theft to the FTC by completing an online form at identitytheft.gov, or by calling the numbers are given, and also providing as many details as possible. And you can also, I don't know about this on going to the police, but you can also, go to the police or remove fraudulent info from your credit reports. And these are some of the ways. Or change all the affected account passwords. The problem is with changing all the affected account passwords, you might not be able to access even the account itself. So how are you going to change the accounts while you are not even able to access it? Because in these days that we are living in, you can be able to sign up using, for example, let me just use Gmail. You can be able to sign up on different platforms using your email. And in most cases, we know that Gmail has taken over more than even Yahoo and other mails. So when you are trying to change your affected account password, it might be particularly also difficult, but I do believe it's not in vain to be able to try and attempt in changing these particular passwords, because they are very, very much important. You can also try to replace your stolen identification. If your social security card was stolen, you can request a replacement card online, or you can also try to replace the stolen identity in terms of other different platforms that have been taken out from you. You can also contact your telephone and utility companies to also let them know that you have become a victim of identity theft. I was just sharing that because I do believe these days I have had situations, people say, no, I cannot be able to access my account. I was on this platform on social media right now. I don't know who is taking it over and sending malicious information or malicious text to my friends and my family, or even my colleagues. So it's just some ways of getting yourself protected from the adverse effects of someone taking over your online identity. Because it has become, we do say, like, people are living on the internet, but I have had situations where people just claim I have been hacked, or someone is really pretending to be me. They have used my photos. Some of your photos, of course, might be online. Someone gets to download them, upload them on another account, and after they have done so, now they put up an account under your name. And because all the info really matches up to maybe perhaps what your previous account was about, then they will be able to target your family, or be able to target your friends and your relatives. So I thought that you should just have a few pointers, because that is happening day to day. And maybe even some of us have become the victims on that particular end, trying to save your account, or trying to save your stolen identity. But maybe perhaps for some reason you have not been able to do so. But those are a few pointers. And also maybe using different passwords. because if you use the same password, there are benefits of using the same password because you can remember, but I'm not really sure that you can remember. You know, there are advantages of using the same password, but I do suggest that you also try tweak your passwords sometimes, and maybe if you're able to place them, you know, put them in another way, you can also be able to remember. It would be a good thing also to be able to do that. But nonetheless, this is the Africa Today show on the Blackbird Fan Network. I wanted to go into a matter that we had talked about sometimes back, which had to do with the cloud chasing. I do understand right now, because according to Forbes, we were talking about the blood and also the let me call them the gimmicks that were used in a controversial shoe that was said to have been promoted by Lil Nas X. And Nike was saying that it's a knockoff of one of the designs that they had gotten to make. And therefore, they were trying to have this particular other company being charged because of infringement of, I don't believe it was a copyright, but for taking up the design and now implementing it and now coming up with a very similar kind of a shoe, a very similar kind of a design of a shoe, which we did talk about, which was sort of labeled as a certain shoe. But right now, I'd say that Lil Nas X has been using this particular quote unquote certain shoe to push his brand. It has been really for the sake of clout. It's not really about anything to do with the small company that was said to have taken over the designer from Nike. And as it is right now, he was talking about, there was a talk about a controversial court hearing that was supposed to be set up so that they could be hearing about the suing by Nike towards or on in where the Lil Nas X was a defendant. But that, of course, has not been happening. It seems like this whole mess has been just planned, you know, just a deviation. But Lil Nas X has a pokes fun at upcoming Nike trial over certain issues, and the judge tomorrow, and I try to flirt with him to avoid going to jail. So it's more of these LGBTQ nonsense going on. It's just a platform because he's saying that he will be flirting with the judge. If the judge tries to make him go to jail, he will actually just be flirting with the judge. And it's more of the LGBTQ nonsense at the end of the day. But nonetheless, it has been used as a sort of a decoy or an attention ploy. If you do get to ask me, where people are thinking that maybe you know they were involved in trying to take up the designs are from Nike, but that is not what was happening. Apart from that, there has been some other upcoming updates that has to do with the family of Keisha Cole. When I was early on the WhatsApp platform, I was talking about what has been happening with Keisha Cole, and there has been an unfortunate incident because when you talk about a drug overdose, it never goes that the situation goes, you know, from bad to us well quick. And this is what has been happening with the situation now, because Keisha Cole's mother, her name is Frankie, she has passed on from an overdose at the age of 61 after a birthday party in Auckland. And some of the time I just want to say that I think some families get to face difficult situations and they only escape because, of course, the use of drugs. I do believe it's an escape, or it's an escape from reality more than it is even about pleasure. I think most of the time it's more of a coping mechanism or an escape more than it is about pleasure. But I do not really know about the full context of the Keisha Cole's mother, Frankie. But she did get to overdose at her 61st birthday, and she is no more. Right now, she has actually just passed on from the coke, from the overdose, the drug overdose. And you can see her from different photos. The R&B singer, Keisha Cole, is mourning after her biological mother died on Sunday following a decades of a long struggle with addiction. Frankie Lawrence, who appeared alongside her daughter on Keisha Cole, the way it is in 2006, suffered a drug overdose while she was celebrating her 61st birthday at her home in Oakland, California. and she did succumb to the overdose, which is really, really a bad way to go out, even if it's crazy. Cliché's younger sister, a sister songwriter Elite Noel, took to her Instagram stories and confirmed about the tragic news, which was first reported by TMZ. Was painful, she said, to see my mama in a body bag on her birthday. My heart fucking broke. That is what she was saying. But maybe if she has been struggling with the drug addiction a problem for so long. So I would actually just say that maybe perhaps they would have been able to try and get her some help. Because if you have been struggling with this addiction for so long, then it means that you cannot really get over it real quick. There has to be some support, and also there has to be maybe some intervention to try and see if she would have recovered from the drug addiction problem. But it seems also, globally, there has to be some sort of an effort to try and see what can be done really to also get people out of challenges such as this, because I would say it's maybe from the background. If you ask me, maybe I do believe most of the cases it's from the background, or some of the challenges with the background, where you will find that some of the victims are of course are being also before they commit suicide or before they overdose, are being victims of things such as domestic abuse. And if you do ask me, maybe she was also going through the same or some other different kind of challenges in her background, even when she was bringing up maybe Keisha Cole. I think I have heard some reports about Keisha Cole also having problems in her background. I don't know. I can't remember well if she was getting battered or she was facing a drug addiction. I can't really remember well. But nonetheless, I was just saying that as a people, maybe we need to be able to, as a black people, not with everyone else. I know there is an opioid pandemic, and the opioid pandemic, of course, has taken out many of these our Zungu. But I'm just talking about black people globally. Maybe we need to address the matters of the challenges, the background problems, and also getting some psychological or some therapeutic assistance when it comes to therapy, or let me just say psychological help. I do believe that will be the best way in terms of getting to address some of the challenges that are facing our people globally, mentally, or maybe with even addiction, because that is what she was suffering from. She was suffering from drug addiction. And even on her birthday, there's so many other different days when you can decide to go and anyhow, I will not just go into that because it's really, really tough, even for the family. But I'm just wondering why will she decide to do that when everyone is actually celebrating her life, just celebrating her birthday, but she decides that she will just go out there and do what she did, and overdose and take her life away. Anyhow, we have been hearing different accounts of what has been happening in South Africa. Moving away from that, there has been different accounts on what is really happening with South Africa. And I want to share with us briefly on what also some words that were said, which of course also reflects what Akil was saying earlier on the show in regards to what has been said by Professor James Smalls. Professor James Smalls has been on the Pan-African Daily TV. I believe that was on Friday. On Friday, we were not able to have a broadcast because we did have some challenges with the lights here. But nonetheless, I do believe these words that were said by Professor James Small on the situation in South Africa are very, very pertinent. And he at least has an idea on what is happening, because there has been a whole week of looting in South Africa. But let me just share these with us, and then you will let me know whether you also get to agree with Professor James Smalls, because for me, I do believe poverty and other reasons are driving this particular kind of problem in South Africa.
You are watching
to Germany to find their Nazis counterpart to marry? Did they bring the Nazis with them in an equality basis? Apartheid, but I say South Africa is still in apartheid. It just has black managers now and policemen instead of white ones. The so-called colored population makes up about 5 million of the 58 million. And the majority of them live in the Cape area with their white fathers and mothers and cousins. And the Cape area is 90% white. we're relegated to the slums they created during apartheid in Johannesburg and so forth. Whites make up 4 million of the 58 million South Africans. And the Indians, as I said, 1.4. So according to the 2017 government audit, 72%, I'm telling you, this is why you got rioting in South Africa. It has nothing to do with Zuma. That was just the spark. 72% of the nation's private farmland is owned by whites, who make up 9% of the population, but they control 72% of the farmland, right? And so here we go again. The White Africana interest group saying that, well, blacks own, that 24% of South African land is owned by the government or the state, and then 34% is owned by the blacks. So what 34% are they talking about? The land that you can't plant anything on? The slums that you built during apartheid, that you dump us in that we can't get out because we don't have the educational skills? So blacks, who make up 75% of the population, and whites make up 13% overall. But yet, when we look at the employment, let's just look again at some of these percentages. You got the coloreds, and people say, oh, well, they've gotten rid of the race thing in South Africa. No, they haven't. Coloreds still stay with coloreds. Whites still stay with whites. Asians and Indians still stay with Asian and Indian. The Malay, the Indians, the Chinese, they stay together. And the black South Africans stay together. And then we are divided because the whites have divided us. The Zulus against the Xhosa, the Xhosas against the Shona. And so we are divided among ourselves as the apartheid regime had divided us. So we got the Zulu, 21%, the Xhosa, 17%, the Sothos, 15%. And this all started way back with the Portuguese coming in 1488, but they didn't make any permanent settlement. When the Dutch came in 1652, that's when apartheid really had its birth. And if you want to find where the safest city in South Africa is, you go to Oriana in the Cape, which is 97% white and 2% colored and 1% black. You want to find where the most dangerous city is, then you go to Johannesburg, which is majority black. And we're still dealing, sadly, with the 1913, listen to this now, the 1913 Native Land Act. Much of its provisions are still in place. Even though President Ramaphosa is fighting now since 2019 to get new land reforms, and even under Zuma, there was some land reforms, meaning they gave land back to the poor black people who the land was taken from, but with no money to develop, no equipment, no agricultural training and skills so that they can compete with the big white farming conglomerates, which control 72% of the farmland. How the hell is that going to work? So what we're dealing with is a situation in South Africa right now where the unemployment rate for blacks in South Africa is 36.5%. The unemployment rate for black women in South Africa right now is 38.5%.
And you also find people talking about South African people trying to fight for Zuma, who is, in prison. It has nothing to do with Zuma being in prison. It's because of these statistics and the reality on the ground of people, getting caught up in poverty because there has not been any opportunities for them. They have been sidelined. After that, they're still in place. It's very, very much operational and very, very much, alive and well in South Africa. And that is why we do have these particular kind of people taking opportunities when it comes to looting. It has nothing to do with Zuma. I agree with Professor James Mott.
38.5.
38.5. The South African jobless number, they have 7.2 million people unemployed. How the hell are you going to run a country with this kind of economic disparity on the majority elements of your country? Unemployment among the blacks is 36.5%, among the whites, 8.8%, among the coloreds, it's about 25%, and the Indian and Asian, the unemployment is about 11%. So who's controlling the retail? When you come to businesses in South Africa, black only control, the blacks with the overwhelming majority, control 3% of the economics in South Africa. So how you may be the president, but if you don't own and control the wealth, what are you going to do to build a country?
And I agree with Professor James Moore. If you do have only 3% of your ownership on this particular country, then how are you actually going to run anything? What can you run? You cannot even have power to make decisions because you own nothing. It's your own country. But if you go back and talk about what you can control or what particular kind of a sphere, even power, you not have even power because you lack ownership in South Africa. And people will be busy talking about, it's because Jacob Zuma was arrested, or it's because maybe they should have had Jacob Zuma, taken to trial in a rightful way. It has nothing to do with Jacob Zuma. Just get to check at the bottom line, all that other statistic, you'll be able to understand a little bit more. And I think I want to thank Professor James Moss. He also has a grasp of things on the ground.
Country. On the Johannesburg stock market, blacks own 27%. Yet black makes up 80% of the active participant in the economic, meaning the buying things and shopping and so forth. But they only own 27% of the stock market, and we only control 3% of the economy, whereas the white controls 67%, while they're only 9% of the population. So that's what, and even when we talk about management positions, the top level management position, blacks in South Africa only have 14%. The majority is white, 67%. Even at the mid-level position where blacks are having jobs at 35%, the whites are still at, blacks at 42%, whites at 35%, that's the mid-level position. But in these companies, the companies are owned 90% by whites. Well, you want to know now why people are rioting in the streets of South Africa? They don't have any jobs. They don't have any businesses. The majority of the small businesses in South Africa, only 27% is owned by blacks. Okay, so the retail business and the trading
and I think I should of course rectify my point I made. I think on Thursday I was saying that none of these businesses in South Africa have actually that have been hit are actually owned by white people. I want to correct that as well, because I realize right now that black people do not own a lot in South Africa. If you are at an ownership level of maybe about 30% out of 100%, or even less than that, then it means that you have nothing to lose. Even if they want to go on another rioting spree for another extra week, I know there will be shortages because of us to have been occasional shortages. But nonetheless, the ownership is really at a minimal. It's black people not owning anything. And also, it's sad because this also applies in other parts of the African continent. If you come to a place like Kenya and I look at the Nairobi Stock Exchange, which is the main, which is the stock exchange of our country, and look at the ownership or the wealth distribution between black people and the foreign investors who will actually white, you will find that the Mzungus gets to run or own these stocks on the Nairobi Stock Exchange, or the Indians as well. And then you do have the African at the bottom. And this also applies, I do believe, also to other stock exchanges. For example, the one in South Africa, like Professor James Small was talking about, and also the one in Kenya, And the other one, I don't know. I'm not really sure whether the one in Nigeria is robust or the one in Egypt is as robust. But the stock exchanges, I do know the one in Kenya and the one in South Africa. Those are the ones I can really talk about. But it's also apparent that the ownership is not under black people whatsoever.
Industry was controlled by the Indians. That was under apartheid. They gave the Indians that piece of the economy. We were simply the slave workforce. The whites, Dutch, and British controlled the mines, and they didn't turn any of the mineral resources over to this new South African state to finance the new government. I don't know what the back alley or backroom deals are on how much of the diamond and the gold and the cobalt and the tungsten and so forth is going towards infrastructure development in South Africa that would produce jobs for millions, but it doesn't appear to be. What seems to have occurred, that they've paid black men to be soldiers and policemen to manage the apartheid victims in the reservations called Johannesburg. And in the areas of KwaZulu, it isn't much better because that's where much of the riots are. And because of the orientation and the socialization that the apartheid regime put in place as education, you have black South African attacking blacks from Mozambique, attacking blacks from Zambia, attacking blacks from Namibia. These were the people who helped you fight your war to get free of apartheid, and these are the people you kill in your states because they come there looking for jobs. Have you lost your mind?
I agree, because if you look at the xenophobia in South Africa, it's also a disease. I can not really tell where these xenophobia stems from. I do believe it's the same mentality of a divide and conquer, because the South Africans have been divided amongst themselves, and they have also been divided to sort of hate even the fellow nationalities. For example, if you look at the Mozambicans, look at the Zimbabweans, look at the Zambians, they really are not getting the right kind of a treatment in South Africa, and they also did play a big role, not a big role in terms of getting to liberate South Africa from apartheid in 1994, and even way before that. I know that Zambia was one of the places where the organizing was going on, or the South Africans did get a lot of assistance from Zambia to be able to go ahead and orchestrate their plans, because you have to have a base where you can be able to now launch or orchestrate or make all your plans, and they were doing it in Zambia. And of course, even in Zimbabwe, they did get a lot of support from Zimbabwe. And therefore, I do believe, instead of attacking the Zimbabweans, or instead of attacking the Mozambicans or attacking the Zambians, we should be cohesive. We should have a cohesive force where we are able to embrace one another and see who is the enemy. Because most of the time you look at what is happening and you realize that as an African people, we are not even able to realize who is the enemy. We have not opened up our eyes to realize that the enemy is whomever has come up, and the Dutch. For example, the Dutch has come up and taken the land that was really owned by the, what do you call them? The Khoisans. The Khoisans, they came through, the Dutch took over the land and then started claiming that there was no one when they go to that land. The Khoisans were there going about their business, but you will find a lot of, those excuses, there was no one here, and we just came up and now we are settling here. We are the Africans, and we are part and parcel of this. These need to go back to Netherlands, and that is where they do belong. I love our professor. He is one of my favorites. I will call a person in real life. I don't know about him in real life. Maybe you've attended one of his workshops or one of his presentations in real life, and that would be wonderful. I would also like the opportunity to meet our professor James Moores, and because he seems to be really easygoing, and he really knows his stuff, and he has also been in depth. I think, when he was talking about, he has given different lectures on African history, and I think, did they fire him? I'm not sure whether he was able to do his complete tenure on in the universities where he was teaching, because if you go out with the truth and talk about Black history as it's supposed to be, then you will not be there keeping. You might not do your full tenure there. They will actually just get to fire you. And you will not be speaking like a Cornel West. Cornel West is another one who gets to play along. And he recently did sign his resignation letter, talking about how he wants to leave Harvard because there is not a lot of morality in Harvard. But nonetheless, that's a whole fake. But I do believe in Professor James Moore. He has done his research on most of the material that he gets to talk about. And also Dr. Yochanan, Ben Yochanan. He is also another one who really gets to tell the truth as it is. And I don't believe these two professors or these two tutors have actually been allowed to finish their tenure, because if you come up with info, not really if you come up, but if you research your material and you know what is happening. Dr. Ben, I know he has been to even Egypt and so for so many years and done his own research there. I don't think they would let him continue with his tenure at the university, wherever he might be teaching arts. And he goes on and now, debunks all the myths about these white supremacists myths that have been, that have been put on African history. Debunk all these myths. They will not be allowing him to finish up with his tenure in whatever university that he might be working at. But now let me share a little bit more of this, and then we shall continue on more matters on what is happening, even with Bill Cosby, as well as other different matters right here on the Black of Africa Today.
It was the frontline countries that free South Africa, not South Africans. You didn't go to war on the streets of South Africa. What about Frelimo? About the SWAPO. Had SWAPO not slaughtered the South African army, you never would have seen a Nelson walk out of prison alive. And yet the Namibians come there for a job and you kill them in the street while you party and dance with your Asian, Indian, Dutch, British murderers and call them your South African brothers. What is wrong with you? It's called...
That is a betrayal of the highest order. But I am really encouraged by a brother. There was a brother that we shared a video of, and the brother was not joking around. He decided he will be taking the whip. And there was some money. I understand there was some money that was due to him. And he decided he will be taking matters in his own hands. And this is what was going on before we continue with the Professor James Moore. This is what was going on in South Africa, which is really not, it doesn't happen every other day. But nonetheless, it's heartwarming to see that the South Africans are standing up for themselves and not just going with the wave and the wave of oppression, because that is what has been happening. Apartheid never really left South Africa, but this is what has been happening. One of the South Africans that decided to take their matters into their own hands, and this is heartwarming.
Not free. I'm out.
No, hey, do not be aggressive.
You are not free. I'm out.
No, hey, do not be aggressive. Are you fucking serious?
Hey, fuck one.
Mr. Tubman, stop it! Get out! Get the fuck out!
That's right.
Fucking serious?
Hey, fuck one.
Mr. Tubman, stop it! Get out! Get the fuck out!
That is what was going on in South Africa recently, because the brother was tired of all the oppression, and he decided to take the whip like Django did, and deliver some justice for himself, because he will not be getting that justice anywhere else. There has been a lot of cowardice going on with the African people, not just in South Africa, but even around Africa. You will find many people who, the thing is, I don't know if it has to do with the inferiority complex. You will find whenever Mzungu comes around, you will find even the locals, maybe perhaps the Mzungu is a tourist. You will find the locals really trying to dance, really trying to make some jokes, really trying to make this Mzungu really, really comfortable. But nonetheless, I do get to agree with Professor James Smalls when he says that it has to be understood that the people who did get to free South Africa are the same people that are now being thrown out of South Africa because they are looking for jobs in South Africa. And these are the Namibians, these are the Mozambicans, these are the Zimbabweans, the South African people. We also need to wake up and come together as an African people if we need to get ahead. And even with the statistics, like Professor James Small was sharing with us, it's baffling. You will find that the ownership of property or the ownership of the businesses in South Africa, the black people really have nothing to really show pride in, because they did not own anything.
Ignorant of history, lack of knowledge of self, no control over your own identity process. With all of the history of the Zulu waging wars against Britain and the Dutch, and then today the Zulu can't sit down and make peace with the other African ethnic nations that make up South Africa, so that you can put the demands on the corporate structures and the international banking interests that finance apartheid in partnership with Nazi Germany and is still running apartheid using the same principles of Nazi Germany, and you can't even see it, and you wonder why those kids in the street burn the shit down. It doesn't belong to you. Burn it down. 7 million of you unemployed, and they wondered why you were in the streets? That's insane. Where is the African Union statements to the people of Africa about what's going on in South Africa? Where is the statement from Zambia and Mozambique, Angola? Where are the statements from Namibia telling the world what's really going on in South Africa? I just gave you the statistics on the unemployment and on the businesses. What else do you think people are going to do? I have a friend, Moshe. When the pandemic started, he didn't want to stay here and die. If he was going to die, he got on a plane as soon as he could, and he left California and he went to South Africa to work the land that his grandfather had left for him, but could find no access to finance in South Africa for a young black man with a degree in America to go and work to build that farm. Could not find anywhere in the government, because certain ethnic groups controlling certain thing in the government would not give a pathway to another African ethnic person. After 1 year plus, he had to find his way back to California just to eat. He didn't have money to eat. Let's stop lying about the panacea of South Africa, because it doesn't exist for the overwhelming majority of African people in South Africa. Their situation is only 2 steps better, if that, from what it was under apartheid when it was good.
And I'm also suspectful that it's not really any better, because really never really left South Africa. I would not say it's much different. I would say that that is what has been happening. And Shepo Simon, thank you so much for joining us all the way from South Africa. You are there, and I know that you have a better understanding of the way things are going on the ground. And I'm sure that Professor James Moss hasn't missed a mark. He actually does a positive, constructive criticism, and also the statistics never get to lie. If you look at the statistics, then that would also be able to help interpret what was going on last week. And I have seen the president, he goes by the name Cyril Ramaphosa, saying that South Africa will come out of this stronger than it was. But I'm not really sure that that is the case happening. He was saying that South Africa will be coming out of these stronger than it was before these political protests. But unless the fundamental problems are actually solved, or there is seemingly an effort to try and address these matters, then I would expect that maybe in the next few years we might also go back to the same situation, and things might not really be any different. It might just be coming up from one problem and having a rest for a few months or maybe a few years. Then we might be coming back to the same kind of a difficult situation in South Africa. But the president, like I said, he has been trying to downplay the whole matter. I think he has been downplaying it, saying, "Oh, we will come out of these stronger, the stronger South Africa, a more united South Africa," and but it's a lot of hypocrisy with this. But South Africa's Ramaphosa calls for unity amid records of unrest. President Ramaphosa joins our cleanup efforts after the riots, as his government warns against racial conflicts and vigilantism in the aftermath. And you can see him right here, going with his army scarf right here. I do believe he's a symbol of support to the military that he was sending out to go and calm these riots in the streets. But he has joined the post-riot cleanup efforts as his government warned against vigilantism and sought to avert a racial conflict following the days of unrest. What I understand so far, there has been the arrest of 4 people that have been said to be the instigators, or they have been said to be the mobilizers of these different riots and the protest. But I don't think even arresting 4 people will do anything unless you go to fundamental roots over these problems. Then even if you were to arrest 10 people or arrest even 30 people and say these are having instigated this particular kind of a riot, and you have not changed the situation on the ground, then that would not really be any would not be meaningful in any kind of a sense to the South African people or to anyone for that particular matter. But nonetheless, we shall move away a little bit further from that, and also, like he said, Professor James Smalls has the matter. He has the matters right, and also his criticisms of the same are actually very, very right. But we shall move away from that, and we shall go on to the matter of what has been happening with Cosby. And Cosby has been said to want to pursue, legal channels in regards to his, imprisonment and the kind of a time that he did get to lose when he was locked up in prison, and that is according to his representative. And I do believe that it might be a lot of time and a lot of resources that will go into getting this particular case going. I do believe that even if he was to sort of cosmetic solutions, it's really, if you don't go to the fundamental problems, people do not have the land, people do not own anything, people do not control anything, then you might as well be singing the whole song the whole day, saying, "Oh, South Africans, we are much better, we are much stronger, we are now more cohesive and unified than we were before the riots." But that's a whole lot of nonsense. He was trying to downplay the riots so that it cannot be seen as a weakness on his side, or as a dysfunction also on his side. But nonetheless, I was saying that there has been a reported matter of Bill Cosby pursuing legal channels to go and get to get compensation for the time that he has spent behind bars. And I'm not really optimistic about this particular one, because at the end of the day, you might want to pursue, which is right. It's right to really just go and pursue. But considering that he is 83 years, and the amount of time and also the amount of energy that will be involved in this whole process, also the resources, like I said as well, it might be just well for him to just lay back and spend his time with his family and also with his production, because I understand that he was talking about going back to performing and going on a tour, and he also has new material out and he will be performing at different venues. I would just say, instead of getting wrapped up in all these these illegal processes, I would just if it were myself, And I'm not saying it's any good for anyone to have found themselves in this predicament. I will not really go really after that. But Bill Cosby reportedly believes he deserves a compensation for his 3 years in jail. Cosby's representative, Andrew Wyatt, told News Nation Now Mr. Cosby was given an unwanted 2-year and a 10-month vacation that he never asked for. His constitutional rights were abolished. His due process was stripped, and also says that he was given an unwanted 2 years. Wyatt continued, he is due millions. He is due millions, and I feel that the district attorney and the judge Stephen O'Neill and Kevin Steele, Montgomery County District Attorney, should resign effective immediately. Wyatt did not specify how much the 84-year-old should be compensated, and what particular channels I might be pursuing to see that they are getting compensated. For me, I think maybe trying to have a commission that really might fire up, or might just try have people just interested in what's going on with the legal process. I don't think he might be going for that. But of course, so that's why right there talking about there needs to be he is due millions for his compensation, and that is what is owed to him by the justice system. But like I said, I do not see that happening any time soon. But apart from that, I would also like to see maybe see how what particular kind of shows and what content he comes up with. I'm not really sure whether he might really be trying to say what did happen to him while he was in prison, or some of the things that he has actually got to unearth when he was very, very active in his career. He might decide that he just wants to unearth what he did find out when he was actually at the top of his career. But like you said, he was saying his representative says that he is still millions, and that is the problems that we do have with that as well. But nonetheless, moving away from that, I just want to talk about something else that has been happening, and of course, this has to do with the matter of Ice-T. I don't know, Ice-T. All of a sudden, I was sharing with us a little bit earlier on the WhatsApp. For those of us who are with us on the WhatsApp, I was sharing a link a little bit earlier on with the troll, the troll that Ice-T has gotten dragged. For all of a sudden, it seems like just out of nowhere, his photos and his daughter's photos started going viral, and there was a different feeling with different from different corners. There was a different feeling for Black Twitter. Black Twitter, of course, is not impressed with the whole swiding, because people were saying that this girl looks more Ice-T than Ice-T does. And they were also saying that he could never anyhow deny that that was his daughter right there. Of course, like you said, Black Twitter was not really impressed, but I have seen other sources also coming up and showering her Ice-T with praises, this and that. But I also understand that Ice-T has been swelling, since the 90s, and we do know of his beast wife. I did share an image. Let me see if I got that image on this one as well. But the problem is, Black men still do find it. The same also with Black women. Black men do find themselves having the authority to speak on Black women while they are married to the beast. And also sometimes also do find Black women finding themselves entitled to speaking about Black men while they are actually married to the beast as well. And it's baffling how to see that you will find people feeling so much entitled they can't say they will actually want to give advice on how Black marriages should go on, or how Black couples should actually conduct themselves while they themselves have not found a black woman or a Black man to marry themselves, so that they want to be an authority over matters that they themselves have nothing to do with and want nothing to do with, for that particular matter. But this is the images. Let me see if I get these images real quick. Of course, this is Ice-T. This is Ice-T at Rockfest. I think this was a Gothic event. These are Rockfest. And I wouldn't be surprised if something turns up and you will find Ice-T talking on Black Matters. These are Ice-T saying baby Chanel and Nicole at the Rockfest. I think these are Gothic Rockfest, because I see that these are the symbols are back here saying about the body count and the scale of the skulls at the back of that particular one. And also these are particular one here. She looks more of a Becky than even Becky looks. She looks more of a Becky than even Becky looks. But at the end of the day, I do believe the whole point of this particular one is a whole promotion of Swahili. That is why it has gotten this much amount of attention. I don't think it doesn't. It's not coincidental. It has not gotten this whole amount of attention because it's coincidental. This picture and the whole story about Ice-T and the daughter has been trending to sort of have people more confused and more focused on what is happening now with interracial marriages and also interracial dating. You might find some confused, maybe young men and women thinking, oh, this is so adorable. We should have more Swahili right here on the continent so that someone can. It's crazy, but nonetheless, I do know that Black Twitter had a different feel about this. You can see, their clothing has to do with, the rainbow, and all lots of other things are going on with that as well. And it also reminds me of the sports, the football players. You will find many football players have two pictures: the pictures of their moms, and then they do have the pictures of their wives. And then they do have the pictures of their daughters. The same thing did happen with Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali, of course, if you look at the grandchildren of Muhammad Ali, and you would be told that these are the grandchildren of a black man, they are not black, though those grandchildren are black, and then they will marry and go. That would be the phasing out of any black DNA with that. Ice-T Rabbit proved himself on the planet. Sure did. Only the first baby mama. Sure did. Only the first baby mama is black. And General Mosquito, thank you so much for joining us. But I do see, if you look at also Muhammad Ali, and also these are going back to the football players. Most of them, they do have two pictures, and they do have three pictures. The pictures of themselves, the pictures of the pictures of their moms, the pictures of their baby mama, and also the pictures of their daughters or their sons. And it's a whole wreck going on. T hot spikes. No, just sharing with us what has been happening, and I think these particular photos did get the attention because they can be used, or they are being used. I do believe that is the right term. They are being used to promote the Swahili culture anywhere, and you will find people saying, "Oh, these and that, and these and that," but this is Ice-T's daughter, and that is why they have gotten these alternations. I was saying maybe 2 generations down the line, with what you can see here, 2 generations down the line, because I do know that there has been that particular push for the interracial marriages, because the bees want to buy more time. They want to really sort of lace themselves around with our DNA or with our black genetics. And you will find this push for the interracial marriages are going on to a very, very big extent. You will find all these different platforms, social media, and other different platforms are being used for this particular quest to have more black people, caught up or mixed up with these beasts, so that they can be able to try and buy some more time right here. But I was saying, 2 generations down the line, you find that even most of the mulattoes, right? The mulattoes, you find them when it comes to choosing a side. Now, most of them will be choosing the beast side, the crocker side, and the Mzungu side, and they will also be they also another they are put on a pedestal where they will also look down on black people as if the black people are. They will look down on black people for whatever reason. And then that is why I personally do not support these Swahili culture because they will also be used as a weapon against the black people. And black people now still look at them and think that there is anything to be envied, or there is anything enviable about these interracial marriages. And that is how we do have our mind mixed up. Like you said, our genes, our genetics really, they're trying to buy more time with it. Swahili extends the stay of the Urugu on the planet. Yes, that is why they want to push these Swahili and have it going on for as long as they can be able to have it going. And but black people out there looking like, oh, what's going on? What's wrong with what's wrong with interracial marriages? What's going on? And pretend to be ignorant or pretend not to know anything. But people need to be aware that even when there is a raising of these mixed breeds, you will find them also siding for the better part with the Urugu, and then you will wonder they will also be used as a weapon. I do believe I might just give the two examples. For example, with Obama. Obama, of course, is one of them, and we also do have the likes. I believe also Edgar Hoover, who was of the FBI, who was also another mixed. And you can see the kind of damage that is used. They are weaponized against the black people, and they all have no mercy. They will be going on doing all sorts of things. I can't even watch TV adverts anymore. So everywhere, it's everywhere. Anywhere you go, especially on the TV, it's two things going on right now. The promotion, the massive budgets going into promoting the adverts that have to do with the Swahili, and the adverts that have to do with the LGBTQ. You will find them everywhere. It doesn't matter whether you were just watching another advert that has to do with even like the ones that Bill Cosby was doing. What was he advertising? I shared some of them last week, and a kid brought them up. But even when it has to do, it has nothing to do with the LGBTQ or the Swahili. They will find characters to bombard that as well, and find ways of corrupting the minds of the people in regards to different things that are happening, and just have it mixed. Have it mixed on there as well. But nonetheless, family, I wanted to go on into something different. There has been Africans right here on the continent that feel very, very much strongly that they have to stand up and defend. They have to stand up and defend religion, because religion has been the downfall of our people anywhere. If you go into different African kingdoms, the different African kingdoms that did get to exist before the arrival of the Portuguese, or before the arrival of the British, or before the arrival of all these other different Europeans that actually came onto the continent, our people did have their own different spiritual systems. But as it is right now, and I do fear that if this is not, if we not break this particular kind of cycle, you will find that many people will be lost with whatever is coming right now. We do know the pandemic, and the prescribed solution for the pandemic, the prescribed quote unquote solution. But the only problem I do have with our people is that we have been entangled, and we are very, very much confused with and our minds are wrapped around religion. At the end of the day, religion means to bind the mind, and it seems like our minds have been wrapped around religion, and there's nothing people seemingly want to do about it. But let me share with us one of the presentation on how these whole concept of religion did get to come around, and this has been a wonderful presentation that I did come across, that was shared by the one and only Dr. Ben Yokanan. Before we continue with more matters, because as it is right now, it seems like our minds as Africans are actually just at one particular place where we are stuck.
Frederick G. Sampson and the Tabernacle Missionary Baptist Church family, friends, fellow Africans. I know that the term fellow Africans may stun some of you today, particularly now that you are celebrating the 32nd Founders Day luncheon. But I said African very wisely, because one time this institution and all of the other black institutions. And I hope that you forgive me for the term black, because many of us have passed that stage. But nevertheless, I said black because I think that if Jesus was here celebrating, you would actually have to say the same thing. Unless we do not know where Jesus came from. I was reading a book and I wanted to know what should I tell these people when I come, and I noticed that the vast majority of the people here are women.
Good grammar and spelling are important, but if you want to write essays that inspire,
and I noticed that the pastor must be very busy because everybody here is Mrs. Somebody. I was trying to figure which one I'm going to take home, but I can't take home any. But then that says, don't mess with the sheep until you check with the shepherd. I came to celebrate with you your second 32nd celebration. I came to celebrate with you in the first celebration. The first celebration of a person who later at Calvary became the deity of your religion. I came to celebrate because when I was looking in the book today, there was a song that came by my mind and it shocked me. It says, "Make me whiter than snow, Lord." I wonder how could that be, looking as I do. And then I looked in the picture, I said, I want some pictures to show the people what I mean. And so I got all the picture Bibles, and I couldn't find one looking like me, not even an angel. And I said, well, wait, now I better speak to my people about a little few things. It seems it says somewhere in the book he had hair like lamb's wool. Well, I know you don't know who I'm talking about. That's why you're here. And then I read the book again, and it said his mother brought him into Africa. Of course, your book don't say Africa. It says Egypt, but the last time I saw Egypt, it was still in Africa. Because Herod was about to kill him. And then I said, let me go back further and deal with this thing that you're here to celebrate. And then I came to the point where it said the 10 Commandments by an African named Moses. His religion being Jewish. And somebody said to me, what do you mean an African named Moses? There was only one Moses, the black Moses, Isaac is. And I said, I am speaking about the only kind of Moses mentioned in the book of Exodus, an African born in the city of Goshen, on the Nile. And so I said, it's easy for me. I'm coming, actually, to a homecoming celebration. Now, I'm not going to mess with theology. I'm not going to mess with that. Got a man here does that very well. And like they said, when you go to court the daughter, don't mess with the mama. And in looking in this, what I'm going to celebrate, I think of some names. Absalom Jones, as he bolted the white church and went in and discovered and founded his own black church. The Black Episcopal Church. I thought of Richard Allen as he bolted the white church and found his own African Methodist Episcopal Church. And then I started to think, well, where does the Baptist come in? And I remember the name Palmer, when Palmer said, yes, there are black churches, but they do not speak to the little fellow, no more than the white church. So I will start the Black Baptist Church, so I can speak to everyone. This was the time when the black church was a revolutionary church, was a church that housed such names as Henry Highland Garnet, Nat Turner, Denmark Vesey, Sojourner Truth, and others. Even David Walker, who had made the master appeal, along with Frederick Douglass and so many others. The names of these men and women stand significantly on my mouth as I speak to you this afternoon, because they too remembered that it was not slavery that brought Christianity to you. You brought Christianity to Europe. Paul did not create Christianity. Paul was trying to explain an African Asian religion to the Romans. And he could only explain it in terms which the Romans knew. Slavery was nothing that brought Christianity to you. The church started in Egypt with Pantius and Boetius. Ethiopia had a Christian religion and a Christian church 150 years before Rome knew what Christianity was. Those are your people I'm talking about. Yes. I am speaking about a religion that came out of the bowels of Central Africa. Because when we look at the Book of the Dead, the Pyramid texts and the Khufu texts and the Osirian drama, the 147 negative confessions that set the foundation for the 10 Commandments. When I look at Akhenaten, otherwise called Amenhotep IV, and his teaching.
And that's 100% when it comes to the commandments that was said to have been taken from the Mount Sinai. That's a whole complete lie, because those were in existence way before even in any context. And even if he was there, which is also hypothetical, people used to, everyone knew that the laws, and there wasn't anything like the 10 Commandments that came up from a mountain. That's a whole complete lie, and Dr. Ben is explaining more about it, because when you look at the religion and different aspects of the religion, it has just African spirituality that has been forged into something that is because religion is like they have to put, it's like an orderly, they put in order to spirituality. It's like they put in procedure. If you might ask me, quote unquote procedure. And this is how they came up with the religion. Nonetheless, I'll just let Dr. Ben Yokanan explain on it. For him, I do not believe he ascribes to these religion, because he knows the root of it, and he knows also why it has been put in place to bind the people's minds, and also to continue to make really slavery also easier. Because if you bind the minds of people, then it means although their actions are they are limited, their actions will also be in line.
Of monotheism before another African named Moses was born.
Everything in life is a negotiation. When you cross the street is a negotiation.
I could only rejoice in your second 32nd birthday today. Well, to think of the fact that you, the people, where the Bible says, and the third river, this is Genesis, mind you, and the third river flows through the land of Ethiopia, and that river is Halima. Right. And then you say, when you look in the mirror, you don't like what you see. This is a history. Your homecoming today, your celebration today, reaches out much farther than what it may seem. Certainly, when we speak of the Nile Valley, we must think and remember that it was there that the infant Jesus was held, was given haven. Just think back for one moment that Jimmy Carter, that's the president, I understood, sent the United States Army, the Air Force and the Navy to look for a little blonde, blue-eyed boy among you. And they searched every family, every little boy, and didn't find that blonde, blue-eyed boy. It must mean one thing, That boy was not blonde and blue-eyed in the first place. Oh, he was a chameleon and turned black. All right. I'm talking about Jesus. Probably you may never have heard of him mentioned in this way, because it would seem to me that you have not heard of the Aquarian Gospel, or you might not have heard of those books that were removed at the Nicene Conference. The Nicene Conference that was held in 325 AD, when Rome changed Christianity to Christendom. Quite a difference. All right. One has to remember, as I look around and see these beautiful women, I remember three basically precious black women like yourself.
I also do remember the teaching that Kida has also given on the Nicene conference, and he talks about these black men that met on the Nicene conference who were cooking up at the religion. These are not crackers. These are not Mzungus.
Those who were the first to die in the name of Jesus. Three African women from a place called Carthage, now called Morocco. Felicita, Nymphano, and Perpetua. The first to die in the name of Jesus, of the Christ. Look what I said, the Christ. The Romans had not yet stopped saying the anointed. We used to say Jesus the Christ, Joshua Christus. The Romans changed that. They couldn't understand what we were doing at all. They couldn't understand anymore, so that they told us that they give us philosophy, that the Greeks give us philosophy, when in fact there wasn't a single Greek in history until 833, when Homer wrote the Iliad and the Odyssey. All right. And Homer said that even the god Apollo and the god Zeus came from Ethiopia. All right. In other words, the Europeans were saying that those of us who now are like the invisible man were the ones who even brought them the concept of a god. They say that African people, that we do not have philosophy. All we have is the blues. No, beat the blues now. It's very good. Sing it sometime. But they forgot that from the first so-called Greek philosopher Thales to the last of the Greek philosophers, Socrates, and the center one, the most noted of them, Socrates, came to Africa, to your ancestors and mine, to learn philosophy, only to go back to become the father of it. It's no different than Benny Goodman goes to Duke Ellington to learn to play jazz and become the king of jazz. All right. Let us not forget it was your ancestors. When there were 7 bishops of North Africa and 7 patriarchs, there wasn't one in Rome yet. The other day you read that the Pope of the Roman Catholic Church from Poland was going from Rome to Poland to look at the picture of the Black Madonna and Child. All right. Here she is, the Black Madonna and Child. Here she is over there. Here she is over there. The Pope was going to look at the statue of the Black Madonna and Child. He was going to look at a Black Mary and a Black child named Jesus. Isn't it strange that when you sing in church, you don't lay back and sing, close your eyes, and see yourself? Rather strange, isn't it? Well, but then to speak like this, you say, well, we don't want to hear that. I can't say it because we're in a church setting, but you know, they say a nigger ain't. Well, I let.
For the creative or for the imaginative mind that I have actually also closed, your eyes and pictured angels like they have been taught in Christianity. All of them are white people, and also if with the imagination of a heaven as well. In these context of Christianity, you will also realize a whole lot of there was the change in all the brainwashing and also the binding of the mind And these also, I do believe, made it really, really easy for the overcoming of the African people by the colonizers. And also, I do believe the African people at that particular point were also descending and not even really knowing about their own history. Because I do believe if by the time there was the introduction of a history, people could still if there, at the introduction of a Christianity, if people could still be able to go back and sort of have a refresher, or sort of have a reminder of what their history has been, then I don't think it would have been easy for anyone to just come up and sort of tell people this is what your white Jesus, or this is your God, and your God is a black, this is a white man here. Because people would actually ask themselves, in regards to the knowledge of their history, people would actually be able to go back and know this is some rubbish going on with the quest to take over our lands, and also to colonize our minds and bind our minds rather, and have us more confused in regards to our spirituality. Because now they were given a religion instead of a spirituality, and everyone else decided to work out on our spirituality, and that also created a whole lot of damage on our people in Africa and even outside.
Let's leave it like that. And why would we say that? We say it because this part of our history we do not know. Thus, the people who give to the world Christianity is now being told that it's only slavery why they got Christianity. The Bible did not say, and Rome shall stretch forth her hand unto God. It said, and Ethiopia shall stretch forth her hand unto God. Huh? We are celebrating the 32nd birthday. Let's celebrate it all the way. Let's go to the Grand Lodge of Luxor, where your ancestors and mine started the concept of religion, of the deity, when they started to conceive that man could not be here solely by himself. Automatically, just drop out of space, that man must have had some sort of a physical as well as a spiritual beginning. And it's along the Nile that your ancestors decided, and from there at the Grand Lodge of Luxor, in what was then called the mystery system.
It seems like also these comes up with a lot of adverts on it. Let me skip these on.
They developed in the priesthood the 7 liberal arts. It was in religion that man developed science, not in science man developed religion. Thus, there should be no conflict between religion and evolution if one knows what one is speaking about. There is no conflict when I say there's an evolutionary process that goes on when the mother received the little seedling from the father. There's a tremendous amount of evolutionary processes go on in that stage before the child comes out. But that doesn't mean that the child doesn't come out with a spirit. All right. A soul. That inner self that we call that. I couldn't point you out the soul no more than you can, but you can feel it, you can understand it. Thus it is that when we talk about I love you with all my heart, we as African people know that the heart cannot love. It is only a piece of muscle that pumps the blood, but we are saying it symbolically. Because in the Book of the Dead and the Pyramid text and the Coffin text, we show a picture of the heart being weighed against the feather of truth, which the United States government, the Supreme Court symbol, adopted, but still told us we got no history. All right. Not only did they adopt from us, but on the dollar bill. Yes. Right in the green side of your dollar bill, there is your history. Not Alex Haley's roots. It's another thing. Everybody has got my roots in slavery. I'm talking way before anybody knew me well, much less to enslave me. On that dollar bill, you see the symbol of the God concept symbolized by the sun, and the pyramid, the house of fire, and the ever-seeing eye. All right. And in other places, that symbol which you use for Jesus in memory of Calvary originally started out as the Ankh, A-N-K-H, the key of life. Isn't it strange, or is it strange, that at Calvary Jesus would be placed on the same symbol, but you seem only to think of the death. But Jesus didn't preach the death. Jesus said after this death, there is a life, a resurrection, and a life, which the African people had brought up traditionally. The scholarship of Jesus was not to be questioned. All right. His years at the Grand Lodge of Luxor from age 12 to age 30 was not to be questioned because it was a scholarship undeniable. All right. As his ancient teachers also called priests. For it was as a boy went into the synagogue or to the center of worship, the Grand Lodge of Luxor, at age 7, and he did not.
I do believe the presentation by Dr. Ben Yokanan really is a call to people to also rethink the doctrines and also the philosophy of what exactly are being said in the different fields. And of course, not just with Christianity, going to any other religion that has actually been made by men, you will get to realize that all these religions have actually been made and they have been taken from Africa. They have been borrowed. They not just sprout from anywhere. They not just sprout from nowhere. They were actually picked from the ancient spiritual systems of the Africans, and then they have been cooked up over time. Like I was saying with the Nicene conference, which were conducted, so many of them. It wasn't just the first or the second. There were so many conferences that were conducted, and all of them were basically really getting to debate or getting to decide, is this particular part of the story going to work? Is that other particular part of the story going to work? How can we now get to bring in this, all these together to become one narrative? But for me, once you come up with any system or any, nature, if you look at, because most of the stories that are taken, most of them want to borrow from nature, and then they corrupt nature. But you'll find a religion that has not even a place for women, and then you know that you have even being cheated. When you just looking at it and find out. This is really utter lies, and there has been also a lot of falsification of facts. It's not really factual, and none of those particular things can actually be what can I call it? You cannot stand up for them because you cannot really be able to prove them as well. But nonetheless, we almost are coming closer to the end of our broadcast. I do see General Mosquito. I think you were earlier with us, and also Kate Apidon, you are also with us. I do believe that Dr. Ben Yokanan is also instrumental. If you would like to check out the whole particular presentation on the same, I do believe it goes for about another 50 minutes or so. So I would just want to share with us in case you would want to get the whole breakdown on how on some of these particular facts. And also, like I said, once we also when we come up on the Blackout Financial Africa Today show, we create a platform that is open. You can also be able to do a little bit more in-depth insights on it. You can also be able to question and also be able to verify some of the info that we are able to share with everyone here on the Blackout Financial, because right now we are living in the information age. You do not have to believe. You can actually know. You can actually go and do the research. We are living in an age of knowledge, not an age of believing. Right now, you can actually be able to know, and that is what we are all about. Do not just believe anything. Make sure that you're also in a pursuit of knowledge to be able to study and verify on the same. It has been a delight. Remember, you can check us out on our official website, which is www.blackoutfinancial.com. Once you are on the official website, make sure to click on the login tab on the top right, or you can also click on the shop page. Once you are on the shop page, go to the bottom right and click on please register. And once you click on register, it will actually prompt you on how you can put up your details right there. You can put up any other name. You can use a pseudonym if you want to. It doesn't. Plus, your information on the website is also there is a discretion with the info that is put up on the website, and therefore you do not have to really worry about that as well. But you can also check us out on our official app. It's available on Play Store. Once you head over to Play Store, search for the Blackout Fire Network, and you will find it there, and you can be able to download it and also enjoy it. Easy listening on the go. as you go about your daily business or as you go about your work, maybe perhaps getting from a point A to point B, or maybe when you're catching a break, you can be able to find out what is happening. Very, very soon, like I said, we shall be embarking once again on the Friday basement on the network, using the official website, and also the movie nights on the weekend, using the network as well on the network, which will be the official platform. And also on Fridays, we endeavor that on Fridays we shall be able to really do the live streams, every other live streams on a Friday on the official website, so that we can be able to now shift our focus or attention to that, because like we have said, we have faced a lot of opposition and censorship on these other platforms, and therefore we are moving towards to the official website, where we shall be doing our streams from. And nonetheless, I want to thank Shepa Simona. Thank you so much for joining us on the podcast. Mosquito, Sister Nish Penda, KW Don as well, and everyone else, and also Stacy Thomas. Thank you so much. I missed the commenter from Stacy Thomas, but thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast as well, and everyone else that has been with us. Kingston from Pittsburgh, I saw you earlier. I want to appreciate you so much for being part of the Black Coach Fire Network website stream for today. For tomorrow, we hope we shall also be able to have the rest of the family on. Keith was not able to join us today, and also Zoe, but we had a conversation earlier on with Zoe. We hope that he shall be able also to join us tomorrow, nonetheless, on the stream as well. And before the end of the week, we also do hope we shall be hosting some guests. And we shall also be inviting some of the family to also share with us some of the sentiments regarding some of the matters that we have planned for conversation this particular week, as we go on into, as we move along the week as well. If you would like to support the stream, make sure you are invited to do so. You can head over the network website, and you can do so by donating to the Black Coach Fire Network using the network website, blackcoachfirenetwork.com/donate, or you can use Cash App, Mr. Black Coach Fire, and of course you can support the network with $5, $10, $15, whatever amount that you might feel comfortable with. We really want to invite your support on that one, and it's actually a good thing, because we are able to support Black media, and we'll be able to do a little bit much more work right here with a lot of the compiling or bringing together the info, and also being able to share with you the light of the matters as they are, whether it's in Africa or whether it's really just globally. We will be able to do that, and we shall be able to proceed and grow in terms of our capability in bringing this info to you. Nonetheless, like I said, it has been a delight. Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast, and I think we shall be winding up with these are some brothers from Ohio, Cleveland, and these are some Bone Thugs and Harmony. And we hope to see you tomorrow, same time, right here on the Black Coach Fire Network, media for the 21st century. Like I said, tomorrow Kid will be with us, I do hope, and also Zo shall be joining us. Like earlier on, we were hoping they would be able to join us today, but they were not able to join us. But tomorrow we shall proceed, and we shall have also another wonderful show tomorrow. This is the Crossroad, and that is by Bone Thugs and Harmony. Till next time, much peace and love. I want to say kwaheri.
Tell me what you gonna do, it ain't nowhere to run. When judgment comes for you, when judgment comes for you, what you gonna do, it ain't nowhere to hide. When judgment comes for you, 'cause it's gonna come for you. I'm gonna miss everybody out of all the time. My guys look to the wild night. Playing for dust and they play too deep for deep side. The less I got to be, tell me you piece of the seats for them please. Never been by my grand, your way, you can't go. Don't let you work another plan together. Follow the Lord on 24/7 days. God is super great, even though the devil's all up in my face, but he keeping me safe and living my place. Safe back to the gates of grace, but I touch the face of Jesus and against my soul. Girls, because there's no mercy for this. Ooh, what can I do? It's all about the family and how we do. Can I witness that we're going, but I'm not too tough. So come nearest. Ladies, they're tearing through. Instead of keeping up with family, exactly how many days we got lasting? While you laughing, we're passing the way.